So we part ways, Bard. For good.
Look, I promise to change the public's tune about you. At least allow me to try.
It's been stuck in my head forever. So let's pick apart the song. Here's an analysis of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher from Netflix's The Witcher. I'll take it one verse at a time.
When a humble bard graced a ride along with Geralt of Rivia, along came this song.
It's interesting what Jaskier says here. He calls himself a humble bard, but then he says he graced a ride with Geralt. The definition of graced in this case is to do honor or credit to someone or something by one's presence. Because of the way the sentence is phrased, Jaskier honors Geralt by riding with the Witcher. That's a strange thing for a humble person to say, so we get a peek at Jaskier's sense of humor here.
From when the White Wolf fought,
You're an elf.
silver-tongued devil, his army of elves at his hooves
Thank you.
they revel.
The song comes from the time when the White Wolf fought the silver-tongued devil. Geralt has been called the Butcher of Blaviken till now, and Jaskier tells the Witcher he'd like to give his popular image a makeover. White Wolf is Jaskier's first thought at branding Geralt in a nicer way. The song says the White Wolf fought a silver-tongued devil who has an army of elves. It seems like Jaskier is calling Andrel a devil here. Geralt says there isn't any such thing as a devil, but Jaskier might be combining the idea of the devil, which the townspeople sent Geralt to find, with the actual person of the Elf King in exile. There aren't devils, but there are Sylvans, which are horned, hairy, satyr-like creatures. It's the Sylvan who is helping Andrel, and who has the hooves and the horns Jaskier refers to later. The Sylvan says very little in the episode when compared to the eloquent Andrel, and Jaskier even quotes a memorable phrase of the Elf Kings later in the song. For the sake of the song, Jaskier appears to have invented a villain for the story who has the features of the Sylvan and the position and eloquence of Andrel. Jaskier presents the image of the elves reveling at the feet of this devil almost like an image of hell, with demons surrounding Satan's feet.
I'm Dara.
They came after me with masterful deceit.
I'm Siri.
Broke down my lute and they kicked in my teeth.
It's unclear what deceit was practiced. The Sylvan spit iron at Jaskier and knocked him out. It's possible Jaskier means the attack was stealthy and therefore deceitful. It could be that he's just further establishing the bad guys as tricky and bad. His lute was broken, though. The audience probably would have understood how big a problem the loss of an instrument would be for a bard who makes his living singing and playing music. Jaskier's teeth are fine, however.
While the devil's horns minced our tender meat, and so cried the Witcher, he can't be bleed.
That's not how it happened.
There's the devil again, menacing innocent victims with his horns. Minced is a good choice of words. It means to cut with blades or to grind into tiny pieces, and it usually refers to food, specifically meat. And then the Witcher cries, he can't be bleat. Seems like Jaskier is punning on the words beat, meaning defeated, and bleat, which is the sound a baby goat makes. If so, this establishes Geralt's wit and defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. The he can't be bleat could essentially mean the devil can't be beaten, while at the same time evoking baby goats to make fun of the devil, who has many of the physical attributes of a goat, like horns and hooves. And then we get the chorus.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, O Valley of Plenty.
The people Jaskier sings to are likely to be poor farmers and workers at an inn, or nobles and royals at a banquet. They might not have coins to toss, but the refrain makes light of the money and the action. Toss is a word that trivializes whatever's happening. Consider how different the song would sound as pitch a coin to your Witcher, or throw a coin to your Witcher. Toss is gentle and feels like no effort at all. Valley of Plenty is an interesting phrase, and without knowing much about the Witcher books or games, it seems like this must be Jaskier's attempt to idealize the land they're in, describing things as the inhabitants of any land would wish for. The villains are really bad, deceitful and violent, but the land is prosperous and fertile. And the land here is Jaskier's reference to ordinary citizens, those who might actually be tossing coins toward Geralt, and toward the bard singing his songs, those not involved in adventures.
At the edge of the world, fight the mighty horn that bashes and breaks you and brings you to more.
Phil of Andrel says that he is now Phil of Andrel of the Edge of the World, and that statement is mournful and bitter. Jaskier is appropriating it here because it sounds cool. More heroic imagery here, fighting a mighty horde. Probably it's all those elves who were reveling at the hooves of the devil earlier. Obviously, there was no horde in the actual adventure, just a few elves and a Sylvan.
He thrust every elf far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain from whence it came.
Elf and shelf rhyme. That seems to be the reason for stating these lines as they are, though Jaskier alludes to pushing the elves into the mountains and out of the Valley of Plenty. The mountains are the ones the elves originally came from, but Jaskier doesn't mention that the elves are coming from the mountains because that's where they were relocated to after losing wars with the humans.
He wiped out your pest, got kicked in his chest. He's a friend of humanity, so give him the rest.
Peste seems like a strange word choice, since it trivializes the devil and his hordes, who Jaskier has spent the rest of the song building up. Perhaps Jaskier is making light of the problem now since it's overcome, or perhaps he's trying to avoid scaring the audience into thinking seriously about an elven threat. Also, pest, chest, and rest rhyme. Not clear what the rest is that the listeners of the song are supposed to give to Geralt.
That's my epic tale. Our champion prevailed, defeated the villain. Now pour him some ale.
Jaskier's calling his own story an epic one. Not very humble. It certainly feels epic as he's told it, although the last few verses sort of break the mood the music has created with their imprecision and reliance on rhyme instead of vivid imagery. Referring to Geralt as a champion after portraying the danger he faced is a good move, and draws from conventions of legendary stories, the idea of a champion knight who fights for the people. And since many of Jaskier's listeners are likely drinking ale as they listen to the song, that helps Geralt to seem relatable. He just wants an ale after a hard day's work, like one of the boys. And then we get the chorus again, with the addition of a friend of humanity. Jaskier tells Geralt he wants to change the way people think about him, and this song does a great job. It's propaganda, and it's mostly a work of fiction, but it's enjoyable and stupidly catchy. And from the time Jaskier sings the song through the rest of the season, calling Geralt the unflattering epithet, the Butcher of Blaviken, has fallen out of style. Instead, people call him the White Wolf, for his white hair, his wolf pendant, and because of this song.